first official speaking engagement, and the first of many more, so thank you. My name again is Brandy, and I have coined myself the spiritual friend advisor, and basically that's just a friend who gives wisdom, advice based off of godly wisdom. So, how many of us are excited that 2018 is over? Ooh. Yes, 2018, I know for a lot of people was very hard. We probably shed a lot of tears, was stressed, had anxiety, was probably depressed. We probably felt every emotion in 2018. So, how many people are excited that it's 2019? One of those things that come with the new year new me, everyone's excited about working out, going to the gym, and eating healthy, right? That's what everybody's goal is. What about your spirit that lives inside of you? Just like your physical, you want to work out, you also need to work out your spiritual muscles. And being a part of this wellness and lifestyle brunch, I'm thankful that Marissa invited me to speak because I'm going to bring that component. And I think that a lot of people don't really take into consideration your mind and your spirit that goes along with your body. So just a little bit about myself. I have a passion for helping and encouraging people through my own personal testimonies and just one-on-one conversations that I have with people. And basically, I just like to give people advice based off of what I've done to become a better person for myself. So like I said before, I usually give like a lot of testimonies. So last year, I just experienced a spiritual growth like none other. And within that spiritual growth, I realized that there were so many people who were hurting. There were so many people who lack faith, who need encouragement, and ultimately there were just so many people who don't really pay attention to their spiritual life, and just ultimately, like, a lot of us are just broken. We're all broken. There's things that happen to us from our childhood. There's things that happen to us from as an adult, being disappointed, and just like life just happening to us. So with that being said, my passion for helping people led me to my purpose. And the first part of my purpose was I created a devotional website called Pray the Impossible. And Pray the Impossible, essentially, I write up weekly testimony conversations about conversations that I've had with people. So you can say, Brandy, I just got laid off. I don't know what I'm going to do. And then you're also thinking like, you know what? I didn't even want to be at that job anyway. And say, for example, you just happen to walk into Starbucks and you meet someone, you're connecting with them, they give you their business card, tell you to call them, and then you get a job. So in that conversation, I will see like, you know what, there's a reason why you got laid off at that time, because God aligned you to be in Starbucks, and now look, you have the job that you've actually been looking for. So it's those type of conversations that I'll write about to encourage the reader. And the second part of my purpose is I recently just authored Real Talk, a conversation from my heart to yours. Yes. And that is a 30-day devotional book. And each conversation features, I've written my own, I gave about maybe 4 of my own personal testimonies, as well as just conversations that I've had and just giving advice in the book. So it's a book that encourages the reader, it builds your faith, and it gives you hope based off of real conversation. I know a lot of us are on social media and everybody posts pictures, you're living your best life, but what about when you're home alone and there's nobody there to see the real you? But on social media, you're putting up this facade. And I feel like we need to have more real conversations because we're real people. And we need to see real people who have gone through some things, because we've all experienced life, right? The good, the bad, and the ugly. We've all experienced it. So that's basically kind of what Real Talk is about, and it's just tapping into that. So I'm actually going to read a conversation in the book. It's Conversation 26, and it's called Take Back Your Power. Conversation 26, Take Back Your Power. A final word. Be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. Put on all of God's armor so that you will be able to stand firm against all strategies of the devil. And that comes from Ephesians 6, 10 through 11, and that's the New Living Translation. The enemy is out to attack your mind, body, and spirit. He will use every weapon in his arsenal to take you down. His attacks are personal because he knows that God has great things in store for you. Have you ever woke up and asked God to show you a sign that what you are praying for is in his will for your life? He answers you by showing you a sign that you were looking for, and your hope and your joy is restored. All of a sudden, as you're going about your day, you feel your joy leave your spirit. You're in a state of confusion, wondering what just happened. Maybe a friend of yours reached out to you to chat and brings up a topic that you have been praying about, and you feel your spirit transition to an unsettled state. The joy and hope you felt earlier in the day has left entirely. Your spirit becomes anxious, and you know that it's not from God. What do you do at that moment? Let the enemy steal your joy and take you out? Do you put on the full armor of God and take your power back? God has given us power and authority over the enemy. He did not create us to worry or to fear. He definitely did not create us to be defeated, because we are more than conquerors. The minute you feel your spirit shift from peace to doubt, worry, or defeat, that's when you pull out your weapons against the enemy. Your weapons are scriptures and words that affirm victory. Say to yourself, I have on the full armor of God. In the name of Jesus, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. I am more than a conqueror. And if God is for me, who can be against me? Repeat this to yourself over and over again. If you are at home or in your car, shout these verses out loud. Or maybe you're at work or in a public place. Whisper these phrases to yourself as you sit at your desk or while you're walking to the office. Do not let the enemy use tactics or strategies to make you doubt what you heard God say and what he has shown you. Tell the enemy, in the name of Jesus, you must flee. You are a child of God who has power. The full armor of God and your spiritual weapons are what you will need to defeat the enemy and take your power back. And at the end of each conversation, I have a heart-to-heart section where I'm asking you questions, and then then you have a section to take notes. So for this particular conversation, the questions that I'm asking are, has the enemy been attacking your mind, heart, and or spirit? Are you aware of the power that dwells within you? What tactics are you using to take your power back? And so just a few things that I personally do to help, that have helped and are still helping me to maintain a spiritual, healthy lifestyle. I'm not sure what everybody's, maybe your religious belief, or if you believe in a higher being. For me, I believe in God. So for me, I go to church regularly to receive a word from my pastor. So for me, going to church, that just feeds my spirit. So I can be depressed. Matter of fact, this morning, I just woke up and my spirit just was not settled. I wasn't in peace at all. But going to church this morning and the word that was given to me, it just helped to settle my mind. It restored my joy and my peace. Like I mentioned earlier, I share my testimony to encourage people, and just to see that a person who was once where I was, and just sharing my testimony with them, and just seeing the light shine on their face, and just to see them smile, to say, you know what, if she went through it, I can get through it too. That kind of helps my spirituality. Pray and communicate with God. Everybody is different. God is not going to be the same way that you do or how you communicate with him. Spend time with God in the morning and throughout the day. For me, the first thing I do when my alarm goes off, I thank God for waking me up in the morning. Then when I get into the shower, I have my own meditation. When I get out, when I'm getting ready for work, I set the atmosphere. For me, listening to gospel music, like that just starts my day because I know I work in the city, so commuting, dealing with all these people, commuting to work, it could be something. Also for me, I read a lot of devotionals, so I've downloaded the Bible app on my phone, so whatever I'm going through, there's a devotional in the Bible app to help you get through the day. I follow a lot of inspirational pages on social media, so I could be at work scrolling, and one of the inspirations will speak to me in that moment, so that also helps me with my spiritual journey. My favorite thing that I've been doing for the last maybe 3 years, I write down 2 to 3 things that I'm grateful for every day. So in my cell phone, there's a note section. So it could be, like I said, I work in the city, so I commute. So I'm thankful and grateful that there's a seat on the bus because traffic and going into the city, who wants to stand? It could be as simple as finding a parking spot or as big as, I got a promotion. Whatever it is, once you find things to be grateful for, you're more at peace. Have conversations with people where you are able to recognize God in it. Like I mentioned earlier with my devotional site, Pray the Impossible, the conversations that I have with people, I just see God working in the lives of so many people and just sending blessings our way. Trust God. That's hard, and I'm still working on that. And I can be honest and say that I really didn't fully start trusting God completely until the ending of last year. So it's so cliche, but saying let go and let God, it's really true. Once you do that, you don't have to worry about getting disappointed when you're praying and you don't see God answering your prayers. He's going to work it out. If it's for you, it's for you. If it's not, he's always going to have something better for you. Praise and thank God in advance. If you're praying for something, just thank God that, it's going to happen. If he told you it's going to happen, just keep praising him and thanking him. So the list goes on and on, but these are just some of the ways that I've started to work on in my life to just maintain and build a healthy spiritual lifestyle for myself. And it also helps to build your spiritual muscles. So I thank you for your time. And if you want, I have, you can follow me on Instagram at Pray the Impossible. That's where I do my daily word of the day to just give you encouragement. And you can subscribe to my website, praytheimpossible.com, and that's where you'll receive the weekly testimonial conversations. I'm also selling the books in the back. They're $15. Cash